Yes, you are actually seeing the title of this video. Yes, there are FC26 leaks already. In fact, quite a few of them actually. Now, we got to keep in mind here, it's very early on still. This is by far the earliest we've ever seen leaks like this. So I'm getting ahead of myself here, but we'll get into that. It's from a pretty reputable source. We've talked about how I personally, and a lot of you guys out there think that this FC26 year is going to be one of the more cared about years probably because of GTA 6 coming out. And so far, at least, things kind of line up that way. And we'll talk about it when we get there. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. And thank you all for watching and being here, of course, every single day. If you leave a comment on this video, I will read it on my second channel. Thank you to you beasts who leave comments and watch the second channel videos. There's not a whole lot to talk about with FC25 really right now in terms of leaks. I mean, the content we can kind of talk about a little bit, but there's not really a whole lot. That new Evo came out, kind of looks cool. Does give them 97 shooting, which is kind of crazy. Dybala looks very good, 5-star, 5-star, nice play styles. I was seeing a lot of people on Twitter talk about how good he was when they tried him today, so I'm gonna assume it's, Dybala is always good in FIFA. He's got those animations that don't really show up on the card, right? So that's always an added bonus to a card like that. Now, also, I want to give EA their credit here because they did re-release the grinding upgrade 30 times a day now. This time, it's actually only bronze, so they did, I guess, sort of like nullify some of the silver stashes out there, but either way, it's still good that it's back in there. And then we have a super daily bronze upgrade now. You can only do it 3 times though, but it does give 17 of them. And we do have now 6 daily bronze upgrades. So honestly, it's still good. And we talked about how the 8310 might change. It really didn't change. So okay, it's going to stay that way at least until Ultimate Team of the Season. It looks like we have La Liga still. And then, yeah, I think at that point it will be Ultimate Team of the Season Friday where this looks like it might change. And also, this might be nonsense. Let me know in the comments if you don't think this is true at all, but I have noticed, like today especially, we've gotten a lot of 5-star players today. I feel like they save 5-5 a lot of the time for futties. Now, of course, this year's FUT birthday, every card had 5-5, so things have changed, obviously. But the 2-player SBCs and CDK today all have 5-star, which is kind of interesting. Maybe EA kind of acknowledging the power curve issues we've got right now and trying to do something about it, or it's absolutely nothing at all. But okay, let's get on to the FC26 talk here. And I want to firstly start off by saying Detective FUT is usually pretty right about new release leaks. I think he was pretty right about FC25 stuff. I believe he's one of the more reliable ones. Now, keep in mind here, we are so early on in these leaks that even if these are 100% exactly correct, there could be a lot of changes here. And also, the fact that we have these already is kind of hilarious, right? Is this not a, hey, please think about next year, forget about this year? Because I'm not going to lie to you, this is like 2 months earlier than usual that we have FUT leaks for. Usually it's like maybe late June into July we have Ultimate Team leaks. Right now it's May 16th. So okay, let's read this stuff. We'll talk more after. FC26 main focus. The core of FC26 is live events and tournaments. He says up to 2 tournaments a week, competitive and friendly, which is kind of interesting there. Possible qualification needed, cup and card objectives in tournament modes. So kind of back to what we used to see in the daily knockout tournaments where you can earn cards in them. Bonus rewards on top of early SBCs, which I'm not really sure what that means, but okay. Bonus rewards on top of early SBCs. So let me know if you guys know what you think that means. Tournaments will be in the form of live events and not a new game mode, which, I mean, sure, that's kind of semantics to me. Like, that's a new game mode, right? We're getting a tournament type thing, even though it's called live events. It's not a new game mode, quote unquote, but that's what it is exactly. And FUT is going competitive like never before, as if it wasn't competitive enough already. But it does say here, we have competitive and friendly tournaments. I'm not exactly sure what that means even, or what that's going to look like. Maybe just higher tier rewards, I guess. Maybe one actually you need qualification to get into, and then one you don't. That could possibly be the case here. Because qualification into these tournaments, that kind of sounds dumb to me. So unless the rewards are like insane, then I guess maybe it makes sense that way. Maybe that's where those 2 distinctions come in there. And then cup and card objectives, sure, why not? That is we've needed a new game mode for, we're talking 6-7 years now. We got draft, guys. You remember the year we got draft? It's going to be 10 years this year. And draft has changed in, the most small ways you can think of. No real major changes in 10 years on one of the newer game modes that we've seen into Ultimate Team. Actually kind of insane when you put it that way, but this is needed, okay? I'm not sure if it's going to be good or not. We have no idea, but at least the idea behind some sort of tournament, some sort of cup stuff going on, up to 2 a week, players and rewards and stuff like that is just something we need to keep things interesting. Game modes to me are a massive part of why this game feels stale for a lot of people, and this isn't like a guaranteed cure to that, but this for sure can help if it lives up to its potential, which who knows if it will. But it's still exciting exciting to think about what the potential of this could possibly be, right? So I'm happy to see this, and we have more leaks and stuff in just a second here, but Detective Fut in the replies of this tweet does say, replying to I am French, I hope this isn't the big new thing in FC26. It's way too light to create any hype on my side. Detective Fut says, I can say it's not the only big thing for FC26. And the rest of these changes maybe aren't insanely big, so maybe we have more of that coming here. And then once again, it's so early on into this cycle that I'm very surprised to see these already, but okay, let's go on to the next one. And what do you think about, obviously, tournaments coming back into the game? To me, it's absolutely needed. I just don't know how we go another year with division rivals, FUT champs, and squad battles. I think our brains would break. But okay, on to the next league here. This is an interesting one. So FUT champions, there's no more playoffs in FUT champs. Division 5 plus immediately qualify for FUT champs. And then division 6 or lower, there's FUT champ challengers, which is a new FUT champ version for lower division players only. And it says, disclaimer, this information is based on what we have in the testing phase, right? So things could change here, but I actually think this is a very interesting change. So this, I think, will open FUT champs possibly to slightly more people. I think there maybe were some Div 5 players who were on the cusp of qualifying, I would guess. And division 6 or lower here, they actually get to play in their own kind of FUT champs thing with, I'm assuming, less rewards and stuff. Now, obviously, there could be some smurfing in there going on, but if relegation is the same way where it's kind of locked, then obviously that wouldn't be able to be possible unless you're on a second account, which how do you stop smurfing on a second account ever in any game? Like, I'm not really sure how you do that. So I actually think this change could be cool as well. I think FUT champs, playoffs, whatever. If you're in Div 5 plus, you qualify, sure. Playoffs is now going to kind of be, I'm assuming, gone for like the new tournament stuff, right? And there are actually some qualifying possibilities in those tournaments, like you might have to qualify for them. So maybe that's where playoffs goes to, but I would guess they just kind of swap those out. So yeah, that's a cool change to me, actually. I think that maybe there are some downfalls to this, like possibly some division manipulation here. Like if the FUT champs rewards in the challengers are actually borderline as good as maybe say like a rank 4 finish or rank 5 finish in champs in the regular FUT champs, maybe people will want to tend to just stay at Div 6 and not play rivals. But then again, you're missing out on rivals rewards, so it's going to be hard to combat the smurfing, I would guess, in that. But at the same time, I'm not exactly sure how you combat smurfing the best. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. But I think this is a pretty good change, actually, at least from the outside looking in before we even see anything here. And playoffs kind of seem, the past 2 years, playoffs has kind of been dumb. It really has been more of a waste of time than anything. You might as well just either you're in a certain division, you qualify, less than that division, you don't qualify. And actually, you do still qualify for your own FUT champs, which is kind of a nice change for the more casual players out there. Now, here we go. So this is the rivals changes here that are at least in the testing phase. We've got checkpoints have turned into stage events with objectives that give extra rewards, e.g. score first in the next game. Win streaks is double rival points. Relegation protection for tough runs, so still get some relegation protection in there. And then penalties for leaving too many games is being tested, e.g. can't queue for X amount of minutes, time penalty. So that one is going to be infuriating for some people who obviously want to try and have people rage quit against them. I don't even really know the point of this, honestly, because if you leave the game, you get the loss. Well, actually, maybe they're trying to incentivize here, not as much nil-nil quitting or draw quit. Maybe that's what they're trying to incentivize here, because even if you're fine draw quitting and getting the loss, there's still an extra penalty on top of that, maybe. But I'm not really sure what to think about the leaving game penalty. But then checkpoints is interesting. So apparently it works the same as last year's rivals, but when you get to a checkpoint, they're going to give you an objective in that game, and if you complete it, you'll get extra rewards, which is kind of interesting. It's a unique thing to do, I guess. Score first in the next game, you'll get some sort of pack maybe. And I do like the win streaks are double rivals points. That's nice to see, because anything that can help get you more rivals points, I'm down for that. I think we all probably are down for that there. And it says disclaimer down here, the info obviously can change. But really, this penalty thing does feel like, if I'm going to be cynical, it does feel like just a, hey, this is our one fix for quitting the game at 0-0, 1-1, 2-2. That is our fix here, is like, hey, you get this penalty on top of that, but we're not going to give you the free win. So I think the most we will see is this sort of 45th minute change they made, where if you score a penalty, or sorry, if you get a penalty awarded to you and the guy backs out, then it counts as a win for you. I think it's past the second half, right? It can count as a win for you. I believe just in rivals, though, I want to say it's not even in champs right now. So to be honest with you, I think that that's probably what's happening here, is this is just an extra piece to please don't leave the game at 0-0. We'll never give anybody the win for this when it really we should be. But hey, please don't leave and have this problem persist with us, please. But obviously that's me being kind of cynical there. Let me know what you think about it. But yeah, okay, that's the rival stuff. And then we got news that some people were not happy about, and honestly I wasn't too happy about it either. And it's not a surprise or anything like that because we knew this was going to be the case, but it's confirmed here that roles are back. We knew playstyles would definitely be back. Roles were only in for 1 year, but you could maybe say they would be easier to kind of get rid of quickly if it wasn't very popular. But unfortunately, that is not the case here. We have new roles and new playstyles next year. Actually, not new ones. They're updated. Well, actually, we have one new one, I should say, and there's 3 updated ones that we don't get descriptions for, but let's discuss this. So new roles: center back, wide back, CDM, box crasher, and left back / right back, inverted wing back. We probably will see more of these if I had to guess. Just right now in May, this might be the only 3 they've got there. Playstyle updates, those kind of interesting. So we've got enforcer, which is new, that maybe is going to either take the place of the bruiser playstyle, or I guess maybe just change it up a little bit. It could even be basically the bruiser version of like an attacker. I'm not really sure what that could be, but enforcer is in there. Aerial is now turned to aerial fortress, which I don't know what the difference will be there. I mean, if you had to guess, what would the difference even be here? Aerial fortress, kind of like a press proven combination thing. I honestly have no idea. And this one here, a couple ones that are kind of needed. Flare is now turned into trailblazer, which honestly Flare Plus has been so useless. You don't even see EA give cards Flare Plus anymore. Like, not even as a 3rd playstyle they don't care about, or a 4th playstyle they don't care about. They literally give it to nobody because they're so aware it does nothing. So it has definitely needed to change. I actually would honestly like if they just combined Acrobat and Flare. You might as well just combine those 2. Acrobat's already not the best. I mean, this year it actually kind of has been because of the bicycle kick stuff, but usually it's not the best. So combining Flare and Acrobat to make Trailblazer would be a cool idea, but I'm not sure. It needs to change, so I'm happy to see it at least changing somewhat. And then Travella is now going to Inventive. So I guess just kind of different unique animations maybe for certain shots or passes that I would guess there. And maybe what they're trying to do is not have Travellas trigger every single time. That could potentially be because it ends up broken somehow every single year. So they're just like, yeah, what if we just don't even let them trigger it every single time? Maybe that's what's going on here. I could be reading too much into that, obviously. And then a new focus is versatility. And it says down here, if we actually read this, let's zoom in, let's read this here. So that's the inverted wingback, looks like this here. So more of basically the exact same role as a wingback, just tucked in more, I guess. So the wingback part, we've already seen this one already. You already know what the wingback does, but the inverted wingback, when set to inverted, the wingback cuts inside during build-up play, supporting central progression while still maintaining defensive duties on the flank. So really, it just, I guess, is a more going forward false back. Is that kind of what it is there? Or I'm not exactly sure what the difference between a false back and an inverted wingback is going to be. If you guys know, let me know. But yeah, that's the news we've got. And this obviously does confirm that roles are back and playstyles are back, which I think isn't that much of a surprise. I think playstyles can be used better, and it's not like the worst thing ever for the game. I just think the way they've done it so far has been pretty detrimental, so they can change things next year and maybe make it better. But roles are just simply there to fuck over your squad building and make it harder, just to make you more frustrated and get players that for the first 3 months of the game can play your role. And it's just a mess, right? It's a mess of a system. I hate it. I think they can keep the instructions the exact same way. I actually kind of don't mind the tactic system. I think it is overcomplicated, I think, at times, but the way the instructions are, they do make more sense. And in some years instructions that didn't even do anything. So at least there's that. I know the bar is in hell, but at least there's that. I think you can just keep the instruction stuff and just get rid of roles. I don't think that should be a thing. I think we're going to see it next year be a thing. And then because they introduced it last year, they want to give it a second year, and then it'll be gone in FC 27, if I had to guess. But obviously these playstyles here, what ones need kind of a boost or need to be a bit different, need something different? I would guess, yeah, the flare one is the worst one to me. Flare needs a change, I think. Travella, obviously they can't seem to fix that shit, so I'm kind of happy that's being changed. Long throw being a play style, I mean, we know how useless that is really for 99% of us out there. And acrobat as well is kind of, I guess it kind of needs to be in the game to a certain extent. You can't have every play style being godlike, obviously. Power header as well is pretty bad, but just ones that are more so not bad, but are honestly just useless, because obviously acrobat is useful at times, just not that much. And same goes with things like trickster, right? The trickster fake shot, or doing some of those trickster moves can be useful, but it's not tier 1, so that at least you understand why it exists. But some of these, the ones that you don't even know why they exist, honestly, like flare, I think we get a difference on those. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about these changes here in totality? The champs changes, where there's no more qualifying. If you're a past division 5, there's 2 different FUT champions, FUT challengers challengers and FUT champions. Obviously, if we go back to the tournament mode stuff here, up to 2 of them a week. You got cup and card objectives and tournament modes, bonus rewards, and kind of back to maybe some of the DKT stuff we had in previous years. I think that we probably can't really judge what this is going to look like until we see it, because it's just impossible to do that. I think I'm just happy to see there is at least going to be a different way to play the game next year. That's honestly the biggest thing to me that I personally cared about myself, because if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know how much I don't like these game modes, and the fact that they've been the same for 5 years is fucking ridiculous. So at least there's something here, and hopefully they give it their all and really make it interesting and make it fun, because this can have the potential to be the most popular mode immediately. I promise you, a tournament mode has the potential to be the most popular mode the minute it comes in the game. Obviously depends on execution, but we will see. And what do you think about the rivals changes? And obviously play styles and roles are still a thing in FC 26. And also, you guys are going to love this one. I find this one hard to believe, but we will see. Mateus Gamer, who we know so well, I know we are far from the revelation of FC 26, but I feel that the EA Sports app will be one of the pillars of this game, remembering that EA's idea with this app is to bring the real and virtual closer for players, which, okay, I guess what are the things they could even do with this that would make it super interesting? One of the pillars of this game, I would find that hard to believe. They have talked about before. There's actually this podcast down here where they have talked about what they want to do with it and what they want to do with their app and stuff. I don't know how much, I mean, making an app is, I feel like, so 2015 coded, or yeah, it's so 2017 coded rather than a really good idea in 2026. But hey, they're making $30 billion this year. They know better than I do probably, so fuck it. I don't know. Just thought that was interesting to bring up here, and it is absolutely hilarious that we have this much talk about FC 26 already, guys. I mean, this is the most, no, I have no proof of this, zero, none at all. To me, this is the most like deliberate, throw these leaks out there as soon as we possibly can, because we know that this game right now is in trouble, and there is pretty much no saving it because they fucked with the power curve. Like, they can't really do much to change it at this point, so they're kind of just like, nah, like, what do we do? Just let's get talking about the next year. That could be nonsense, but it feels like it's just earlier and earlier. Like, we're in May and we're getting this stuff already. The game is going to come out in September. We're still 4 months and change from release, when that's a long time for a sports game considering it's just a year cycle. So let me know what you guys think, of course. And there's not much to talk about with FC 25 right now, but I also want to say it would be pretty cool for this ban to only exist if you quit when it's drawed. If that was the case, that'd be kind of cool, because yeah, if you're getting smoked by somebody and it's 3-0 and you don't want to waste your time, it would suck to have to get a penalty for leaving the game. Now keep in mind here, if you leave one game, maybe there's no penalty at all, so it's not actually maybe a big deal if you don't quit 3 games in a row. It's not actually going to affect you. We have no idea how this stuff works, so we just know this is a possibility to exist, and that is all we know right now. But okay, let's read some of your comments now. We've got 5 Trigger Trey, who says, bro, thank you for even mentioning the potential of AI bots or nefarious things that could be in the game. We all know it's a great possibility it's there because they 1000% have the technology, and literally every other AAA multiplayer game has them. I know people with big platforms see those types of comments and posts on Reddit, but everyone acts like it's such taboo and conspiracy theorists. All it takes is a little research into COD and the tech is there and has been for almost a decade. Yeah, and this is the thing with the conspiracy stuff in this game personally, is that even if you don't believe a lot of the conspiracies, which I would probably, with the amount of conspiracies there are, I probably don't believe a lot of them, but what every single FC Ultimate Team player especially can acknowledge is that something in this gameplay is wrong, right? Something is not right. There's obviously delay of some sort. EA quite literally have a patent for dynamic difficulty adjustment that kind of makes sense as to what happens in this game. I'm not even saying it's in the game. I have no idea actually if it is. Like, I don't know myself. Sometimes I think it is, sometimes I don't think it is. But there's one thing that's for sure, is that EA literally have the technology to implement it in the game. So to act like there's zero chance is kind of irresponsible to me. That's a lot of the case with many of the conspiracy theories. Like, to act like there's zero chance that there's AI bots playing as players is irresponsible to me. And I know it sounds like I'm trying to play both sides here, but really I'm just trying to like figure out what the fuck is going on in this game, because we all can agree something's going on. It's just like, what is it? Is it incompetence? Is it just these devs literally cannot fix the inner workings of the code of this game because it's so old and copy pasted over so many times that that's what the problem is? Is it combined with that and then you add DDA in there or some sort of mechanic to do something similar to what DDA does? I mean, We have no idea, but we do know for sure there is something, because we've all played this game and we are fully aware of the gameplay shortcomings that exist. And obviously this game is so psychologically based in terms of the menu content that obviously it's not hard to connect the dots between, okay, there's more psychological stuff in the game as well to make you more frustrated or to make you win a certain amount of games compared to lose a certain amount of games. Like, it's easy to make that jump. To act like there's zero chance any of it exists is kind of insane. And listen, it might not exist at all. Like, that person who is a skeptic about everything might literally be right about all of it. But it's kind of like gaslighting. To gaslight everyone and say, no, bro, it's all in your head is fucking crazy. And I think the AI bots thing, if you'd have told me that 2 years ago, I probably would have been like, no, there's no chance at all. But the thing is that with the way AI is now and it mimics players so well, you probably could play against an AI bot and not know. Whereas like in previous years, you probably would be able to like tell pretty easily if you're playing against the AI. As years go on, it's harder to figure that out. So there's always a chance. And that chance really just gets better as time goes on here. I saw this one like, FUT agent will help you. Trust me, bro. Yeah, FUT agent literally will suck your cup. We got MVB, who actually has a really good theory here. This is honestly the best one I've heard in quite a while for kickoff. My theory with kickoff is that the game is still loading tactics and presets, then taking into account player stats and play styles for both teams. So until all those are loaded, your AI is garbage. Now, part of me like thinks it's a great theory, and then part of me thinks like, okay, well, has anybody ever had a time where you're off kickoff and like long ball plus you try and it doesn't load? Like that hasn't happened to me before. I haven't heard anything about that, but it does make sense as like the tactics wise that it's like loading that stuff and kind of your players are frozen until they know what to do, right? And that would be hard to fix that, because how do you make the game load quicker if it's just backed behind fucking years of code that the devs, you got hired in 2023 and you're like, what the hell am I looking at here? So I do actually like that theory, honestly. There might be some things you can pick at there, but obviously there is something wrong again with kickoff, right? You can say it's a conspiracy theory that kickoff exists, but at the same time, we know there's something. So what is it? It's either incompetence or it's intentionally there. With kickoff, I'd lean towards incompetence / a bug like that, where it actually takes longer to load the tactics in, because it's been around ever since I started playing FIFA and FIFA 14. I mean, that's insane. And once again, if you comment on this video, it will be getting read on my second channel. Thank you all for joining and being here today. I appreciate you all so much. Love you all. So peace.